Hey everyone, welcome to the Withering Effect, episode 69. Today's date is November 1st, 2020, and I am Duds, or Duds versus known to the rest of the interwebs.
I'm Jimbo. You may know me as Jimbo Slice 23. My my show notes says there's a guest I'm supposed to announce, but we must not have cleared that from last week.
No, that's my fault. Because I told Carl I had already done everything because I was trying to be ahead of the curve, and obviously I missed stuff, so that's my bad.
A couple weeks ago, I went to erase the notes from a previous show, and I end up deleting some of our outro. So I try not to do that anymore. But I guess we can get into what we've been doing this week.
Yeah, I'm going to let you go first because I have a good bit of stuff to talk about.
Okay. This Saturday, I released my episode 20. Every 20 episodes, I do like a traditional, let's look back at the previous episodes. And I kind of picked out most of the funny moments. There's a lot more moments in my episodes that you can get a laugh from. But I went through and I picked out some funny moments from all the episodes. It turned out really well. I know people enjoy it's kind of like a recap also.
Yeah, dude, I'm going to stop you right there. Because your episode 20, when I first saw it, I went, oh, Jimbo just ran out of time. And he kind of slapped together a bunch of funny moments, right? No, I was completely wrong. Like, your episode 20 is an absolutely amazing episode, and I loved every second of it.
Nice.
Like, not only was it a recap, and I've seen every episode you've made this season, so I know all the parts you're putting in there already. But you had put them together in a way that basically told the story of the season so far, and I giggled and laughed basically through the entire thing. Especially the parts where I knew I was in it, because I was seeing these old funny moments from a different perspective again, and it was great. I loved your episode 20. I highly recommend people going and watching it.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun putting it together. It's hard to go through like the whole episode of all my previous episodes and find every little funny thing. I put in the most memorable moments, I guess.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more to see our previous episodes. But during the whole me gathering up old footage, I went and built my super smelter at my base.
The super is an understatement.
Yeah, super duper smelter.
I was going to go ultimate smelter, but yeah, super duper works.
I went ahead and hooked up, the input for the sticks go in all the furnaces. I did that. I got my minecart rails to spread I can't think of the word for it.
Sticks?
Well, no, I put in the minecart to separate or spread. I can't think of the word. To put all the items in 64 furnaces at a time. Spread it out. I don't know. I can't think. That word's not coming to me. I went ahead and did that.
Do you have because you're using sticks from your witch farm for fuel. Are you having all the sticks end up in a minecart with a chest in it? Like a chest minecart? And then when that gets full, the minecart goes and fills up all the furnaces? Or is it just whenever a stick comes, it fills the first furnace, and then whenever that furnace is full, it goes to the next furnace?
Yeah, it'll go like that. The second part that you mentioned, it'll just keep. I have a water stream with ice that goes across the ice and the hoppers at the same time, so it'll fill up the first furnace first and then get to the next one. Now, I plan on hooking up a system to where I could feed sticks in manually. I just put it on the hopper, and it'll go into the system and spit them out into the stream just to fill everything back up. And then at the end of the stream, right now I have lava to destroy the sticks that I'm not going to need, but I feel like I should keep those just in case I run into this issue to where, some furnaces don't have sticks. So I'm going to cycle them into a chest, and then if I need to, use those to refuel. Because sticks burn pretty quick. I noticed I use 2 sticks per 1 sand block to turn into glass. So that could be an issue. But yeah, I need to start saving a bunch of extra sticks just to put back into the system.
You talk about furnaces. I actually updated my furnace this week too. It's kind of funny. I think it was seeing your furnace. gave me the idea to update mine. Mine's only an 8 furnace array. I mean, how many furnaces do you have in your super duper ultimate smelter?
64.
Jeez. Okay. Yeah. So yours just like trains. I have no problem waiting for stuff to smelt. That's not a big deal. I'm often, whenever I go AFK waiting for stuff to smelt, I'm either working on this show or I'm editing footage from the previous day or something. So I always have something to do. So I don't mind waiting. My biggest problem is I was smelting the glass for the dome for the hole. We ended up blowing into the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
It was like smelting 2 shulker boxes worth of sand. And that like killed my fuel supply. And I'm using blaze rods for fuel.
Mm.
So I had to go to the blaze farm and restock up. And even then, I used a good 2 or 3 stacks from each furnace there. So now every one of my furnaces has a chest on the back of it. So I can just chill out at the blaze farm for a couple days and stock up.
Yeah.
And like, so now I have like fuel tanks for each furnace. So hopefully I won't have to keep refilling it with fuel often as I did.
Yeah, that does help with spread out your fuel.
Mm-hmm.
Also, with the more furnaces you got,
Mm-hmm.
less fuel you have to put in them.
One, see, that's something you might be able to do is, so if you do another hopper off the back, I don't know how you would do it because you have ice right there. But I was thinking like you have your extra sticks instead of getting burned. They just loop back into another system, and then you can hit a button, and they spew out again, and they start refilling the system. I don't know. Your witch farm produces so many sticks so quickly because it's so efficient farm. I don't think it's ever going to be a problem for you.
Usually I'd go down into the back area. I have 4 shulker boxes full of sticks.
Oh, wow.
So if I ever need sticks, I can just throw the shulker box onto the hopper, and it'll feed right into the system. But I want to make it accessible from the platform, not me going into the back.
Mm-hmm.
But, have the sticks and everything come to me up to the platform. So that's the plan. I also did a lot of the platform in the smeltery room and the bridge that bridges to the storage area.
I love that bridge.
Yeah, it looks really cool. That's about it for my week. I've done a good bit, but didn't record.
Yeah, I was going to say, the problem with your base is because it's so large, you have like a lot of grind work, which bravo, because we've seen what happens when I have to do grind work. I quit and I build a new base.
Yeah.
That it doesn't really make for good content, so you're not recording it, you're just knocking it out, and then you can finally get to a point to record.
Mm-hmm.
So my week, I built a new shop, which I was really happy with. This is the first time in years I built something fully in creative and transferred it to survival. I wanted to play with some different block types and some modern styles, and I knew the little hole. I wanted to shove a shop in there. To me, what's cool about this shop is it's not a shop you're going to expect to be fully stocked with what you need or expect you need every time. It's basically just leftover or overflow of things I have. So each week it could change the product that's in there. Think Grian's barge early in Hermitcraft's season, where he just kind of had a couple random things in there. And that's what this is going to be all year. I don't plan on growing it or anything. Like right now I have Unbreaking 3 books and emeralds in there. Well, Brownie Boots plans on selling emeralds, and more than likely he can produce more emeralds than I can. So when he gets his emerald shop up there, more than likely I'm just going to pull my emeralds and put something else in the place of that. And that's the way the shop is going to, it's going to be filling holes that maybe the server economy has at the time. And maybe it's just, well, crap, I have a ton of gravel I really don't need. Instead of throwing it away, I'll put it in the shop.
Yeah, someone would probably need it.
Right. So yeah, that's the way the shop's going to work. But the design itself, I'm super happy with it. I really like it. It's a really simple design. I think it took me like 20 minutes to build.
It goes real well behind the Withering Effect Studio. It kind of blends in with it real well, I noticed.
Yeah. The only problem is Link had flattened out the terrain, which I hadn't expected. And so while my shop was supposed to sit in a little bit of hole, she had raised it a bit. So the first iteration would have put the shop halfway up the back window. So all you would see is a stone wall if you looked out the window. So I ended up cutting it and lowering it back down just a little bit. So now the height of the shop comes basically to the bottom block of the window.
Okay.
Which works out.
Yeah.
If you look closely at the replay, you can see I had started to build it, and then I tore it down, and then I started cutting dirt layers and kind of filling things in. So I feel bad because you probably did a lot of work to get all that to look pretty, and then I just immediately chopped it back up to put my shop in there.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Other than that, I had you come over.
Yeah.
And I drained an ocean and blew a giant hole in it.
Mm-hmm. Many times.
Yeah, many times. Dude, that hole. Oh my lord. Did I end up telling you how I got through our water leaking problem?
No. Might want to explain the water leak problem first.
Yes. So I have a sand box drained of ocean, just like you would do a guardian farm. And then Jimbo came over, set me up with some TNT dupe flyers that were just going to go back and forth this sand box and blow a hole all the way down to bedrock.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that the TNT dupers, when they got close to the sand wall, would blow the sand wall and we'd have water flood in. Knew that was going to be a problem, but I figured if we just patched the sand wall as it goes, sooner or later it's going to get below sea level and not constantly blow up the sand wall. So I was like, 2-3 passes, we'll patch the wall, it'll be fine, not a problem. Me and you were there for what, an hour and a half patching the wall?
Yeah.
I didn't think about the fact that every time it blew the sand would go lower, so the sand wall just kept getting taller and kept blowing up with every pass.
And then the TNT, the blast resistance on the sand block is not very good, so a bunch of sand would get blown up at a time, and yeah, you just couldn't seem to get deep enough. You'd have to stop every pass because you can't run the machine when there's water everywhere. It won't blow anything up. So that was another thing. Yeah, we kept having to replace that wall.
Yeah.
And you found out a better way?
Well, what was it? We both broke for dinner, and we broke with the thought that we were going to have to replace the sand with stone.
Yeah.
And I remember you had mentioned that it's like, hey, let's just do an outer or inner layer of full stone, and that'll help. And I was just like, I don't want to do that. That's going to suck.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of work. I remember how long it took me to put the sand alone, so now that I've got to do it with stone, it's going to take even longer. And as I was waiting for you to come back from dinner, I went, F it. I turned on every flying machine, and I just let them run for 20 minutes to see what would happen. Just go, 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 go. And it's funny because the middle ones, you hadn't put trapdoors on it yet because we hadn't said go. And I didn't have trapdoors and I was too lazy. So I just kept putting a diorite block on it and breaking it.
I saw that. I'm like, what is he doing? I had the trapdoors on me, so you didn't have them. But I mean, it works.
But that's how I did it. Well, I need to restart with that. So the 2 middle flying machines, I did jump down and I dug a 2 deep trench for each one of those. 2 wide, 2 deep. So when they made their first pass, the TNT fell in those trenches and didn't explode sideways. Because I remember we ran one and it landed and that first TNT blew up the cluster TNT and it immediately shot to the sides.
Yeah.
So those 2 middle ones, I blew a trench. I let them run twice and that blew a deep enough trench. So when I ran the other ones at the same time, it all kind of fell in this little hole. And then the 2 outside ones had the trapdoors on it. So I just turned those suckers on and let them keep going. And as it was going, I was running in and filling the walls with stone. Like, I mean, it's blowing up right next to me. There was a time I think I got to like 1.5 hearts because I got stuck in an area while it was exploding.
Surprised you survived.
I was just like, oh my God, I'm gonna die.
Yeah, what sucks is if you do explode or die, there's more TNT raining down on you. Your stuff could possibly get blown up.
Exactly. But I found that the water sometimes helped because the water would push the TNT into a cave. So you'd see this cluster get pushed into a cave, and then the one TNT that always primed first would explode, launching the other TNT up and out of the water. But because it's in a cave, it's not going anywhere. So it would explode the stone in the cave and just big old crater would appear out of nowhere. I was like, oh my God, that actually worked. So I just kept going and going and going, patching as I went. And I want to say about 4 hours later, I had full on bedrock.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely made it to bedrock. I would suggest, though, if anyone were to do that, dig down a little bit.
Yeah.
Because where the TNT was exploding was like right next to the sand wall.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we'd have dug down like 6 layers, which might take a little bit of time, we might have been in the clear. But maybe not.
Well, if I was being smart and set up a beacon, it probably would have taken 30 minutes to do.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I definitely suggest doing that. We learn as we go.
The worst part is I turned the camera replay mod on, and there were so many close calls, and the footage corrupted.
Oh.
So I didn't get to put any of it in the episode. There was one point where I was turning on because obviously the middle ones have that diorite block, so I have to manually turn those on every time. There was one where I was turning on one of the middle ones, and the outside one was coming back, and a TNT got exploded, and I mean flew right over my head.
Wow.
And landed in the ocean behind me and blew. I went, that thing about blew up the TNT duper sitting right there. And I was like, oh, that's going to make for a great cut on the replay mod. And I'm looking for it, and it just corrupts the footage. And
jeez.
I was like, no. And I tried to go back to find old save files and save it, and it didn't work. I lost it. And I was like, oh, that would have been such a cool shot.
Yeah, TNT duper time lapses are a lot of fun.
Well, see, and I had this great idea for a cut using the green screen we have in the studio, where I was going to start doing a time lapse exactly the way you were doing your TNT duping time lapse.
And
then I was going to have my Duds character on the green screen, like slap the camera, like, hey, you think this is a Jimbo episode? We don't watch explosions here. We're too cool for that. And then I was going to go, nah, you're right. Explosions are cool. Watch some explosions. But because I lost the footage, I couldn't do it.
And all that's corrupted, yeah.
Oh, well. The episode went out today, so people will be able to watch it. And I think it's one of my better edited episodes. There wasn't a huge amount of stuff that happened in the episode. The first, 10 minutes are, I think, extremely well edited, though. Hopefully people will enjoy that. Other than that, I worked on my stream. So people who have coming to my streams, I've mentioned I want to stream a lot more. I'm adding at least one more stream day in there, so I'm trying to revamp it a little bit.
Yeah.
Reworking my panels, bringing in new bots. I have sounds that can play for bits on my stream now.
Oh.
And they're super cheap. I think I set them all to the lowest, 10 bit. So if you buy $1 worth of bits, you now have 10 sounds you can play or something like that.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah. I was trying to use channel points because Twitch has channel points, which are free. And I was like, this would be a great thing because all people have to do is talk in chat and you get tons of points and stuff like that. And it's not going to cost them anything. But there are very little extensions that take full advantage of Twitch points, which is kind of depressing.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't see too much for it.
There are some out there, but they're kind of chintzy. And I'm just like, oh, that looks like it's going to break halfway through stream. And I don't want to work on that. Anyways, so that's 20 minutes into the show, what we done this week.
Done a good bit.
I say that Carl's probably edited that down to 11 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Should we get into the news?
Yeah, we got a good bit of it.
Mm-hmm. So, goats and powder snow are in Bedrock Beta.
Yeah.
Yeah, no Java snapshot first this time. They're doing Bedrock. And if you guys remember, it's because Bedrock is making some features and Java is making some features, and they're working together to cross replicate them for each platform.
Mm-hmm.
So more than likely, these features were just done on Bedrock first, so Bedrock got them on the beta first.
And you noticed at the Minecraft Live, when people pointed out when the goat would hit the cow, it was the red tint as if it was in Bedrock. So it seemed like the footage that you got from Minecraft Live was Bedrock.
Yeah.
So it seems like they already got the ball rolling there.
Mm-hmm. But if we go over some of the stuff we've learned about goats, is they'll spawn in extreme hills, but that's up for change. Basically everything we say is up for change from what we talked about with Mojang.
Yeah.
So yeah, spawning extreme hills. They will charge you or a cow. They seem to not like cows. The other mobs seem fine.
Yeah. They didn't really charge anything else.
Yeah, and the whole charging mechanism is based on line of sight. So if you see a goat staring at you and you just stand still, they'll charge you. But if you see a goat staring at you and you walk to the side, they won't charge you. So they're not like constantly charging you for no reason.
It's like an AFK thing. Can't sit there.
Right.
AFK, if you're in your inventory, watch out.
Yep. If you have a goat charge at you and you dodge, a goat charging at you and it hits a tree, it has a chance of its horn falling off. I don't know if it's 100% right now, or if it's like 20% or 50%. I don't know. So this horn as an item, you can technically blow it, and it'll make the raid horn sound that you get when you start a raid and stuff.
Dun 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 dun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god! But it's horn sound.
Yeah, and I don't know if it does anything other than play the sound, but there's that.
Yeah, I don't think you can get it by killing the goat either. I think they're trying to make it a point to where don't go after the goat for horns. They will drop them on their own.
Yeah, if you're gonna have a goat farm or a horn farm, it's basically just gonna be goats in a pen surrounded by logs that you just have them charge you all the time.
Goats and oaks.
Okay.
I was trying to make something play on words there.
Goats also can jump really high, and with the ability to jump really high, Mojang thought it was a good idea to give them a reduced fall damage. So these suckers can fall off some cliffs and take barely any damage.
Yeah, pretty high heights too. I think Exumavoid has a video where he tests it out, and he knows the exact height to where it needs to be to kill the animal.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't. God, I want to say it's like 44 blocks.
Jeez.
Something like that. It's pretty high.
The last thing, they will avoid Snowier Snow. They can tell the difference.
They say you can see it, but if you're running real fast, you really can't tell the difference between the snows.
Yeah. So getting into Snowier Snow, it has basically kind of the same effect of cobwebs, where you'll slowly fall through it. But Snowier Snow, you fall through at a faster pace than you would cobwebs.
That's good.
There's that. If you wear leather boots, you will not sink through Snowier Snow. Those of you who need to travel through the Nether to get to your base in a Snowier Snow biome, you're basically carrying lots of different armor types now. Come on, Mojang.
Or replace that snow.
Yeah.
That's going to get annoying. I could understand, without the gold or iron or diamond or netherite, that you would probably sink because it's heavy.
Mm-hmm.
But what if you didn't have boots on at all? I feel like there should be...
Yeah.
You should get the pass if you don't have any boots.
Well, yeah, what if you're wearing full netherite armor, though, but no boots? Do you still stink or sink? You're still heavy with armor.
Yeah.
I don't think it matters what boots you have at that point.
Yeah, or maybe Frostwalker. You can get away with it. That might be worth it because it is snow.
That would be a cool idea.
Yeah, something to give you that ability to without changing boots.
I like that. And I just thought about, well, I'll go ahead and say items and mobs will also fall through Snowier Snow just like you.
Right.
But going back to this, I just had the idea. So we know the lush cave where they have all the moss and stuff is signified by a tree with special leaves atop of it, right? What if there's a ice cavern that's signified by the Snowier Snow that you fall through?
That'd be cool.
And that's a cave we haven't heard of yet.
Yeah, like an ice cave.
Mm-hmm.
That would make sense.
Ice caverns coming 117. Bam, bam. Predicting it.
Yeah, this could help for the our main topic.
If I get a tweet Wednesday with Uberoff saying, no, I will know I was correct. Nah, they're not going to say anything.
No, he's not going to get away.
But I'm predicting it now, guys. Ice caverns. They're going to be in the cave update. You just watch.
Yeah, they said there's definitely room for biomes to be brought into it. They only gave us so many. They may or may not. Like you said, it's all up in the air. We know what to expect, but there's definitely more stuff to be added.
Yeah, and I get it. They don't want to guarantee something that they may not be able to.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand holding off on certain stuff. And plus, it's the surprise of a new update. Who doesn't want to be like, oh man, I didn't expect this. They didn't show any previews of this, and it just shows up. That's I like that.
Yeah. Instead of getting everything all at once, give you pieces at a time.
Mm-hmm.
It helps for the show, too.
It does. Gives us something to talk about.
It's like, well, we talked about everything. What do we talk about? It's nice to have new things come out week to week.
Mm-hmm.
We actually had a episode of Ask Mojang out this week, and they actually covered some things I like to mention. It's kind of news, so I put it here.
Mm-hmm.
They will be looking into other ways to light caves, Lady Agnes said. Thought that was really cool. I always like more lighting, so
Mm-hmm.
they're definitely looking into that. More things to craft with crystals. They're also looking into. I guess they do have one thing that crystals can be made besides the telescope. They have one thing, and then there's another chance of another item.
Okay.
That could be crafted with the crystals.
I didn't get that. Like, I must have not been paying attention. I knew they were talking about the telescope or whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
The eyesight thing, but I was just like, Optifine, I won't use it, so I tuned out. So
yeah, they do plan on giving you other items or things to craft with the crystals, so keep an ear out for those.
New light sources, please.
Yeah, you think? Yeah, you kind of have to look into what crystals, what do you make with crystals?
Lasers.
To try to figure that stuff out. Yeah, man, get a laser. They also said no new ores are planned to be added.
Mm-hmm. Well, other than copper.
Yeah, just the copper. But besides that,
mm-hmm.
They don't really plan on adding any others.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I'm sure that could change. The way they worded it wasn't like a for sure.
They keep putting out there everything they say is viable to change by the time a release happens. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is just as of right now. This is the word on the streets. They are looking into expanding world height because of the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
Someone brought that up. I think Lady Agnes was responding on that question, so that's good to know.
She said again, can't guarantee it, but they are looking into it.
Yes, I'm sure there's some difficulties on doing that, but It's good they look into that stuff. It's confirmed you can't ride goats.
Balls.
Cannot ride them. No, can't do it. And they also mentioned lots of loot in the deep dark caves.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of loot and chests. So,
yeah, I'm kind of curious about what kind of loot is, because a lot of times, I mean, we went in busting 2 weeks ago, and even like that's probably some of the best loot in the game, and even then we were just like, ugh, this is kind of garbage. Why do I need beetroot seeds?
Yeah, you definitely get some junk out of it.
Yeah, so hopefully there's better loot than stuff like that.
Yeah, no beetroot seeds.
Please, no more beetroot seeds.
But yeah, that's it for the Ask Mojang. Certain things I got out of that.
Yeah, I'm really curious into the expanding world height. I know people are like jumping on that train. It's like, guys, if it doesn't happen, it's not a big deal. But if it does happen, that's going to be kind of cool. I fully expect everybody's new builds to go from bedrock to world height for some odd reasons.
Yeah.
I'm curious about goats, though. So, like, goats in real life, you can milk. So, I wonder if you'd be able to get goat's milk.
Yeah.
But Mojang also does say they don't want to, like, duplicate features of another mob and stuff. Like, so you can milk a cow, so I doubt you'll be able to milk a goat.
One thing we do know about goats is they eat everything.
This is true.
So maybe they'll be eating, like, everything. You really got to watch out for goats to eat maybe your carpet. Maybe your carpet will disappear. They'll start eating carpet or things along that line. I don't see them eating whole blocks, but...
No, you're right. And I was just thinking, I was like, that falls in the you're not able to control something destroying your build range. But you're right. If it's something like carpets, why do you have a goat in your house where you have carpet?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's understandable.
Maybe they could eat bees. I need something that eats bees real bad.
You and the bees, man. Bees are like your red dragon.
Well, complete opposite.
Anyways, let's move on to listener comments. We got one from RebelJC that was like over a week ago, but I promised I would put it in the show. So we're going to put it in the show here. And he says, moving over from the questions and suggestions, here's another controversial topic. Chairs in vanilla Minecraft, for or against? I'm going to let you make your statement before I make mine. Are you for or against chairs in Minecraft?
I mean, clearly you could design your own chair. It's the objective of sitting, I think.
Well, I think he's more leaning to a new block would be a chair block that you could physically sit in.
See, I wouldn't mind that, but I like the creativeness of making chairs out of what you got.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact that all chairs would be the same in that case. I imagine if they were to do that, you'd have all your different wood types of chairs.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, there's metal chairs out there. There's ones with cloth. You know, they're not all chairs are the same. So I like the idea of being able to sit, but all chairs being the same. Not into that. I guess I don't know. I kind of like how it is now. I like the idea of, you know, building your own kind of chair and making it work with the build. You can always squat to make it look like you're sitting. That can get annoying, but yeah, I'm okay without it. If we were to get chairs, I wouldn't mind it either.
I'm in the same boat as you, where I would rather have the creative ability to build my own chair out of whatever I have, and would more lean to the sit function. And I want to take it further. So I've talked about emotes joining Java for a while. Bedrock already has some, and it doesn't seem like they're getting used much over there, which kind of means they might not make it to Java. But I had an interesting mechanic that I think would translate well, especially with the combat update around the corner. And that's if you use the sit mechanic, while you're sitting, maybe you slowly, and I mean slowly, regen any health you have lost. So it's a way to get around health regen if you don't have food. You just sit.
Yeah.
Your hunger won't go down because you're not moving. You're not using any saturation and stuff. But your health will continue to rise and you'll be able to get full health. They kind of have this with the axolotls and the fact that they play dead to regen health. Well, imagine if a Minecraft player could sit after a hard battle with a bunch of mobs. Maybe they just finished a raid and it's hero over the village, and they just go and they sit down. You cover some health that way.
Yeah. Also kind of ties into like meditation. Meditation can, you know, spiritually heal yourself.
Yeah.
And maybe if they went to like a little meditative state, or maybe after you sit there for like so many ticks, it'll start the regen like you started.
Yeah.
You know, your resting process. That'd be pretty neat.
Yeah, I definitely don't want it to overtake the eating to replenish health mechanic that's been in the game for so long. So maybe it takes about 3 times longer as it would if you were to eat to heal and stuff, but it would be a good alternative if you've run out of food and you're in an emergency situation and you need to regen health, but there's no combat happening around you. You finished the combat. You're just able to sit and rest and regain health.
Yeah, I mentioned that with sleeping. It'd be nice to gain a little health from us.
Yeah, they have that in like Breath of the Wild. If you go to sleep in a bed and if you're missing any health, it'll automatically refill your health bar.
Yeah, that would make sense.
But let's move on. This show's rolling right along. This week's Discord ad is from StoneFigure. StoneFigure, thanks a lot. Take it away.
Hello, interwebs. This is StoneFigure. I'd like to invite you to the Withering Effect Discord. It's a great place to talk to other fans of the podcast and the show's creators. It is also the only place you can vote for Block of the Week, and the votes have been very close lately. So stop on by and say hi. I would love to see you there.
All right. Thanks again, StoneFigure, for the ad for joining our Discord. This is where I usually go into a spill about we need you guys to record ads and stuff like that. You've heard it all before. We're just going to jump into the fun stuff. Join the Discord. You get to vote for Block of the Week. Block of the Week's one of the fan favorite segments. This week, we asked you guys to vote for barrel, weighted pressure plates, or beehive.
And the winner of this week is Weighted pressure plates. Actually, kind of shocked.
Yeah, I am too.
Weighted pressure plates. The votes were 15 for the barrel, 8 for the beehive, and 32 for the weighted pressure plate. I wonder what people were thinking when voting weighted pressure plate.
Mm-hmm.
I got some things on the weighted pressure plate. There are 2 different kinds. There's also there's the gold weighted pressure plate and the iron weighted pressure plate. Each of them are made with 2 ingots of their gold or iron. They can be used to measure the number of entities on it. Only difference between the gold and the iron is the number of entities required to produce the specific signal strengths. And the gold is a light weighted pressure plate. The iron is the heavy weighted pressure plate. And both of these need a pickaxe to be mined.
Okay, so now we're going to get to my tough thing, and that's figuring out a way to improve the pressure plates. Now, someone actually mentioned in the comments on how they would improve it. Square root 89. We're on the same wavelength, and mine's a little bit different though. So I wanted a pressure plate or weighted pressure plate to act. I guess all pressure plates could do this. Anyways, to act a bit like a repeater, and that you could change the tick delay. And you would do this by the cardinal direction you place the weighted pressure plate. This is where we differ a little bit. So if you face north, it's the normal pressure plate activation, whatever. Like, then you go east, you get a 1 tick delay. If you go south, 2 tick delay. If you go west, 3 tick delay. So it would work just like a repeater, but pressured, and it would all depend on which way you're facing when you place the plate.
Okay.
I thought that could be a cool thing.
Yeah, it could be useful in some different areas.
It would be useful for advanced redstoners, but I think people learning redstone might get confused. So there's that. The second thing I'm kind of like on the fence about, or if you would ever use it, and it's when you would put plates on a material like hay, they would become silent. They wouldn't make that clicking sound.
Okay. Yeah, that can get annoying.
Yeah, I don't know how useful that would actually be, but I was like, hey, somebody would find a use for it probably.
Yeah, I have in my base right now, I have water streams that separate the water by pressure plates.
So you get clicking.
Can't be pushed by water. That's another fun fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get clicking all the time. Click, 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 just items flowing around. Maybe I should have went with signs. I didn't have to go with pressure plates.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, something to silence it would be interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, should we get into the main topic?
Yeah, I don't have anything for the pressure plates.
Weighted pressure plates are hard.
Yeah.
It's one of those items that are basically as good as it can get. We've had a lot of that because we're running out of blocks for block of the week. So, okay. So, main topic. Features that could fit within the 1.17 update. These are not specifically going to be in the update, and they may be too outlandish to even be considered for Minecraft in general. But we thought they were cool, and we're going to talk about them.
Mm-hmm.
I focused on the cliffs side, which is really just mountainsides.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out there's not going to be a cliffs update. Very disappointed.
It's all mountain.
It's all mountain. So I'm on the mountain side of the update, whereas Jimbo focused a bit more on the cave side of the update. So, Jimbo, I'm going to let you read one, then I'll read one.
Yeah, well, with the new news we got from the deep dark dungeons with the loot and everything, kind of expanded my mind a little bit. What we saw is when we were in the deep dark of that footage, it was kind of like a ravine style looking dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
There was a room that had some chests in it, but you really don't see much. I'm expecting new traps throughout the deep dark, and I know you have to avoid the warden, and I feel like they're going to throw some traps in there, some different kind of traps. Also, with the loot involved, not too sure of what loot we're going to get, but I would like to see a treasure map, some kind of
Okay.
like you get out of the boats, and then you can find the treasure on the a beach somewhere. This would be like a cave treasure map.
I like that idea.
I think that would be, it'd be a little different.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably a lot more that could be said about the deep dark dungeons. that could be added. But those are two things that I think would be doable for the deep dark dungeons. New traps and hopefully treasure maps.
So going to my mountain updates, I'm going to read mine out of order because I think the best one first, and I want to save the best one for last. The least favorite of my updates is skis in Minecraft.
Okay.
We talked about Snowier Snow, and you wear leather boots to get over it. We have ice and ice boats, for racing and stuff, but what if you had, like, skis where if you were over 2 snow layers and you push forward and you would continue a downward momentum, like you couldn't obviously go uphill with skis.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were to go downhill, you could carry some momentum and you wouldn't have to worry about falling through Snowier Snow. And it'd be a cool way to traverse down a mountain quickly.
Yeah, help with fall damage also. Because you see people on skis like long jump for skis?
Yeah.
How they're airborne for so long. Like,
Mhm.
they could definitely help you with fall damage if that was implemented.
Yeah. And it's definitely an early game feature because once you get an elytra, you're just jumping off the mountain anyways.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe races or something like
Yeah.
that. Skis would be a pretty cool transportation.
I think it's right on the edge of maybe not Minecrafty enough to be in Minecraft, but I thought it might be a cool idea to just throw it out there.
Mm-hmm. Or like a sled, but that'd be a boat, pretty much.
Yeah, that was the original thought. I was gonna man, we could get a sled, and I was like, well, that's just a boat.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, well, skis could replace leather boots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that.
Anyways, what's your next one?
I was thinking something with the cave spawns.
Mm-hmm.
Like some caves have specific mobs, and I'm kind of hoping for one of these biomes in the caves to not spawn hostile mobs. You have the mushroom island above the surface. You don't get hostile mobs there. I'm hoping we can get one of these that for underground doesn't spawn these hostile mobs.
I
think if anything, it'd be the lush caves. It's very beautiful. You have lighting throughout it. I'm really hoping that's, something where you could feel safe. It's one of those caves where you don't have to worry about anything like that. Also, the deep dark. I feel like we're just going to get wardens out of there. I'm trying to think of what other mobs can spawn in there without triggering this warden, because he pretty much moves on sensors.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to go where he feels footsteps or any activity.
Yeah, think about it. Would you want to fight a warden at the same time you're dealing with creepers and skeletons?
Right. Or would he go after them at the same time while you're down there? I'm thinking if anything might be bats or spiders. Spiders might be just soft enough to get,
True.
to mingle with the wardens. Yeah, I'm thinking deep dark. I don't know what's going to be involved with the warden, but I think it's mainly going to be the warden, if not more than that. They did mention it's not supposed to be like a boss.
Right.
So I don't know if they'll be respawning. I doubt it, though.
Mm-hmm. So my next mountain update would be to have snow golems actually spawn naturally on high mountaintops. And I mean, no Pumpkinhead, the actual goofy, derpy-faced snow golem walking around free. So, that's how you know it would be a natural one.
Ah.
I think that could be really cool.
That'd be cool.
My only worry is if you're building up there and now you're getting naturally spawned snow golems, and now they're spreading snow over your build.
Mm-hmm. Or they're starting fights with creepers.
They're starting fights with creepers. So, yeah, it would definitely have to be, controllable by light level. So if other mobs aren't spawning there, then this guy is not spawning there either.
All right.
But yeah, now that you say the whole creeper thing, I forgot it that they'll throw snowballs at creepers and stuff, and that's a little worrisome. But I don't know. I feel like those guys naturally spawning would be very cool.
Yeah, we don't have that anywhere. It would definitely make sense, if anything, to bring it in now.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. It can definitely fit. My next is a helmet light. We don't have anything that attaches to the helmet. I guess if you're going to add all these different caves, and especially with the cave, the name Deep Dark,
mm-hmm.
it would definitely help to have a light that kind of shines out I don't know how difficult this would be. You could hold a torch and then optifine. You kind of get the glare around you. But in the game itself, the light source has to be placed.
Yeah.
In order for you to see what's around. I'm hoping we can get something that we could possibly attach to our helmet. If not, maybe our hand, that could keep light available without you going through and lighting things up.
Yeah, I was going to say, your next two, I can find ways to kind of ruin, even though I agree with you 100%. The two you're talking about, the helmet light now and your next one, I want in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But I can see where Mojang's going to, one, say, well, we don't have dynamic lighting in the game, so that makes a helmet light next to impossible.
That was the only thing I was worried about.
But crystals. I don't know how much crystals are going to change the game.
Yeah.
We'll go with that. That might happen. And I'll obviously save my ruin for the next one. But I'm going to fully say I support Jimbo's two features he wants, and I would like them also. I think they're very cool ideas for caving. I love the idea of going in caving and spelunking with gear. I think that's cool. It's the only time I am for changing your armor in the game.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to gather up. I mean, the coal is everywhere when you're caving, but wood, sometimes you don't come across wood, and then you got to go back to the surface or find your way out to get torches. And I feel like a helmet light would be more convenient. But then again, like, convenience might equal less difficulty. So
yeah, breaking the game.
I don't think they're trying to make it too convenient, too easy. So that could be another issue.
If you think about it, you can't really move crystals, right? That's one of the things they've said.
Yeah.
So if you're going to farm for crystals, you have to find them, and you have to build the farm around there. If you're willing to farm crystals in place in a cave, and this crystal can then be turned into a helmet light that, one, acts like dynamic lighting, so you're not lighting up anything. Mobs are still spawning.
Mm-hmm.
And it acts the same as holding a torch in your hand. I don't see it really breaking the game.
Yeah.
The only thing I see is it falls under, well, we have something, a torch or a lantern that already does this, so we're not going to make something to take away from there. Anyways, I still like it.
Or just give us dynamic lighting.
Yeah.
Carry a torch or a lantern.
We act like that's so easy. Just give us dynamic lighting.
Yeah, just give it to us.
It's not that easy, guys. Anyways, my next one, second to last, I want the aurora lights in mountain ranges. So just like we have moon cycles where we can get a full moon and stuff like that, I'd like every couple of cycles to get the aurora lights over mountain ranges. I think that would be crazy cool.
I've always wanted to see the aurora borealis.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a cool spectacle to see. And yeah, that would definitely be something unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
If we get some, aurora borealis or northern lights, as people like to call it also.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really cool. And a lot of times when you do see this footage, people are in the mountains when you see this kind of footage. So yeah, that would be really cool.
This one feature would make me pack up my base and move to a mountaintop.
Yeah, maybe you can only see it if you're so high in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it won't show up unless you're over 100 blocks high.
Yeah.
That would be neat also. I like that.
I think that would be very cool.
My last thing is a grappling hook.
Yes.
And I noticed after I put this down, someone mentioned it in the Discord. And I just want to say I'm not trying to copy, but I did notice after I put down grappling hook. Grappling hook would be nice for the caving and the cliffs all around. They mentioned in the Discord, I didn't mention a way to use it, but they mentioned in the Discord maybe having a crossbow can be modified to turn into a grappling hook. And that sounds about right. I mean, I was thinking, a rope and a hook, can help you get up and down maybe 20 blocks or so. There would have to be a limit there.
I'm trying to find who mentioned it because I obviously want to give them credit.
Yeah, I was scrolling and I couldn't really find it.
Jesse mentioned it.
There it is.
So GG. But yeah, I agree. A grappling hook would give a crossbow some actual functionality. I crafted a crossbow and fully enchanted what I thought was a completely cool killer crossbow and have been using it for 4 days, and it's garbage. Crossbows are not very good. It's a lot like a trident. It's a very cool looking weapon, but it's extremely underwhelming, which is really, really disappointing.
I'm a big fan of Infinity, so you don't get that with the crossbow either.
Yeah, that was one of the downfalls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm with the grappling hook. My ruin moment for you is, I'm going to say...
Yeah, I was waiting for this.
They already have vines, and the weeping vines and the twirly vines that can be grown with bone meal can already act like a grappling hook.
Okay.
So that's my ruin, even though I would much rather have a grappling hook than those two features. I think those two features are beautiful for the nether, but make absolutely no sense to carry on you when exploring.
Yeah.
Anyway, so my last feature is seasons. I would put seasons into Minecraft finally, but not in the way I think people are expecting. So with the copper roof texture, I think I keep putting Cooper texture in the notes, but
yeah, it says Cooper.
Yeah, so the copper texture and the way it has its changing degradation, if I'm even saying that word right, where it goes from the orange to the green and stuff, and it has different states it goes into. I would like leaves on trees to do the same thing. And again, to get this feature, you have to go high into the mountains. You grow a tree, and you have to wait. And the leaves will go from green to yellow to orange to red to brown, and then white is their final state. And chopping the leaves off a tree with the silk touch at any one of these color states forever seals the color state.
Ooh.
That's how you would get seasons in Minecraft. You could farm trees at certain color states, and I don't know if it would just be oak leaves or what. I'm thinking all tree leaves, but jungle trees don't really make sense to have color states. So oak was really the only one I was thinking, maybe birch. But yeah, that's how I would bring seasons to Minecraft, is using the same thing you would use for copper, but use it for leaves and elevation.
Yeah, I always wanted different colored leaves. You know, not all leaves are green.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like that's all you can get in the game. So yeah, having a way to get the yellow, orange, red, and brown you even mentioned.
Yeah.
That would be so cool.
Obviously, I wouldn't want it to take as long as it does with copper, but to me, that's my big... When I saw copper, this is what popped in my head. I went, okay, now this could be the future of Minecraft. Yes, copper's awesome, but can we put that feature on something that's existing to update it and make it even cooler? And I think seasons will finally be coming to Minecraft if we do it this way. You don't have to worry about entire maps changing based on times of the year. The player now can control the seasons in the biome they want to by growing their own trees.
Yeah.
Just like they can put snow anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So, boom, mic drop.
You kind of want like a fall biome.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'd work for like everywhere.
No, and that's the best point about this is you can make it. Go to a plains and now you have an autumn biome. Go to a mountaintop and now you have an autumn biome that maybe is just getting its first hints of winter when it snows. These are all things you can create. Maybe you want a sunburnt palm tree and you're using stripped birch and orange leaves. To me, it now becomes endless biome creation again, which I absolutely I'm a fan of.
Yeah, they actually did a lot of work on that subject.
Yeah,
this could help.
Mm-hmm. But I think that's going to do it for today's show. Before I have Jimbo read us out, I want to say a huge thank you to all of our patrons who are supporting the show. Our milk level patrons include Aubni, ChiefBigBear, Crock, ohbeep, StoneFigure, TheOfficialCCL, viperoustuna, and YDYT. If you would like to get access to the exclusive benefits and hours of extra content each month, please consider joining at patreon.com/thewithering effect.
And if you like this show, you could share it with all of your friends and on social media. If you listen on Spotify, follow us, or if you listen on Apple Podcasts, leave us a nice review. Doing any of these really helps the show reach more listeners. If you'd like to get in contact with us, send an email to podcast@thewitheringeffect.com, tweet us, leave a voice message, or join our Discord where you can have a chat with everyone who works on the show and fellow listeners. All the links are in the show notes.
This show has been brought to you by Jimbo and myself, but also our digital producer Carl. He helps make sure the show ends up where it should be. And the amazing music you hear in the intro and outro is created by the one and only Decoy. Everyone's social media info can be found in the show notes. You guys have been awesome. As always, thank you so much for getting withered with us. You should probably go drink your milk now. Bye.
See you guys.